investigators determine the cause of the crash. Let's take a closer look at this and bring in Tom Grundy. He's the chief editor of the Hong Kong Free Press. Hi, Tom. Great to have you back on DW. What do we know about what might have caused the plane to skid off the runway?
Well, Nicole, that seems just as unclear as it was this morning, at least until they locate the black boxes, the cockpit recorder and the flight recorder. What we do know is that just before 4 a.m., this Emirates 747 veered left off the runway and into the sea, pushing that patrol vehicle also into the water. And that plane now is still sat off the runway in the ocean, broken in two. Firefighters were quickly able to pull the 4 crew members out of the plane. But the 2 men in the vehicle died, one on the scene, one in hospital later. It took 40 minutes to locate them as they were 7 meters down.
Was there any communication between the plane and the airport before the accident happened?
Well, airport officials say that there was no distress call during the landing and it had permission to land. The weather seemed fine, the runway all good, it initially seems. And the vehicle was sat in a proper position along this 4-kilometer dedicated stretch of runway on the 4th runway. North runway.
What are investigators, as far as you're concerned, right now focusing on?
Well, the police and Air Accident Investigation Authority are now investigating criminal prosecutions. They say are not ruled out, but they'll look at the runway and the weather, but in particular plane maintenance and its operations. As I say, the hunt is now on for the black boxes. That's the main thing. But they're also liaising with the plane's owners in the hope of retrieving, salvaging the aircraft from the sea.
How much disruption has this incident caused at Hong Kong Airport?
Well, the north runway, as you say, is closed today, but otherwise operations are normal at the airport. It's a big facility. The 2 other runways are still open, so no disruption that we know of. It's worth mentioning in September, an HK Express flight struck a signboard and veered off the runway as it was landing in a typhoon, though no one was injured there. This airport is on an island and it's sat on reclaimed land, surrounded by the sea. So if a plane does veer off the runway, there is a chance it's going to end up in the ocean. But also bear in mind, Hong Kong is an aviation hub. It was able to respond quite quickly and accidents are still very rare.
That's Tom Grundy, chief editor of Hong Kong Free Press. Thank you so much.
The cargo aircraft floating on the sea after skidding off the runway and taking a car with it. When rescue crews arrived, the plane was broken into 2 parts and the 4 crew members were waiting to be rescued at its open door. None of the 4 crew members were injured. Rescuers dived into the sea and found the 2 security workers trapped in the car after a 40-minute search. A 30-year-old man was declared dead at the scene and the other, aged 41, died after he was taken to hospital. The Boeing 747 was landing at Hong Kong International Airport at around 3:50 this morning after arriving from Dubai. The crash happened on the north runway of Hong Kong's airport, one of Asia's busiest. That runway was then closed, while the 2 other runways at the airport continue to operate. The Airport Authority's Executive Director in Airport Operations said the captains did not seek help before landing and had taxied about halfway down the runway before skidding off to the left. The Air Accident Investigation Authority classified the case as an accident, with the investigation to look into multiple factors, including the flight's system, operation and maintenance. Cleona Russell, Virgin Media News.